Hey everyone, I'm Steven from Tostemac and welcome to another Q&A session where I answer questions from you guys, the audience. And these questions can vary from anything, like maybe what are some upsides and some difficulties I've had with YouTube over the past couple of years, maybe about something I did yesterday at work, or maybe something like my favorite video or my favorite pizza topping, anything really. So if you guys have any questions for me to answer, let me know in the comment section down below. So let's get right to it, shall we? Our first question comes from Zoylin Richard, and if I mispronounce any of your names, I apologize in advance. So she writes, suddenly, I think she meant suddenly, suddenly you have gained the ability to float. Whose house are you going to float to first and be like, dude, check it out, I can freaking float? Actually, I would choose to float over my friend's house, a coworker of mine named Chris, but I wouldn't necessarily go like, dude, check it out, I can float, and here's why. There's this game that he loves playing called Monster Hunter World. I'm not sure how many of you guys played it, but it seems like a very fun game. And the one monster that he absolutely dreads fighting is something called the Basil Goose. And from what I've seen, it's like this dragon monster type that flies around dropping bombs everywhere. And it's one of those few monsters where if you hear the music playing, you either run for cover, have a pretty good plan and a pretty big enough group on how to defeat it, or put your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye. And the moment he hears the music, he just absolutely dreads it. So what I would do is I would make this horrible prank where I would float above his house and have speakers on the sides and just kind of spook him out a bit with it. So let me try to visualize what I'm trying to do, or I would do with the prank. So I'm gonna play a little bit of the music and start to explain the prank. So he gets out of the front door, is prepared for an average regular day at work, then this plays. He stops, trembles in fear as he looks up into the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the dreaded Basil Goose. And then when that music plays, he's like, oh no, 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 not like this, not like this. He just runs back into the house and the neighbor's like, wait, what? Why is he running in for? He just runs into cover, maybe underneath a table or into the basement, just shaking in fear. And then the workplace calls him like, dude, you're supposed to be at work about half an hour ago. What's going on? You don't understand. It's the Basil Goose. He's had a taste and he's coming back for me. Right. I'll just let the boss know you're not coming in today, okay? Okay. That would be so terrible. And then once the music stops playing, I would just knock on his front door and Chris would go like, wait, what? So how about that prank? That would be so horrible. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to have the ability to float anytime soon. So if Chris is actually watching this video right now, no hard feelings. We're still cool, right? Right? Yeah, we're cool. So let's get on to the next question, shall we? We actually have a couple of them from James Burna, and he's the guy who runs the YouTube channel Caffeinated NPC. You should totally check out that channel, it's pretty awesome. So his first out of 2 questions is, have you ever played D&D, or Dungeons and Dragons for short? If so, what is your favorite moment? There was actually only one time I played D&D, and it was like the game master was playing this zombie apocalypse scenario where me and a group of friends had to try to survive or escape the place. And so we split off into 2 groups. Yeah, bad idea during a zombie apocalypse. And what happens is Group B, led by my friend Sean, had actually stirred up the zombie group there by waking them up, and they were completely surrounded. So what Group A, which is me and a few friends, had to do was find a working vehicle and get it running, basically drive in there like Leroy Jenkins and just plow through the zombies, get Group B and get the heck out of there. So that was a lot of fun, but for some reason the game master got very mad at my friend Sean because all he was trying to do was like make a cure for the zombie infestation, but the game master was like, no, you cannot do that. We're not having this in this scenario. Yeah, I don't think they were good friends afterwards, so that was the only time I played D&D. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing it again anytime soon, but we'll see. And the other question he brought up was, if you could talk to anyone, living or dead, for 1 hour, who would it be and why? Actually, I prefer to talk to someone by the name of Burnie Burns, and he's one of the people who founded the group Rooster Teeth, and here's why. I know a lot of people admire like maybe some sports athletes or certain famous singers, or maybe you want to meet the president himself, but me, I've never really been into those things. Like, never really admired a certain sports athlete or like favorite singer or president or any of that, because they just seemed on a completely different plane or on a completely different level that we just can't reach. But when I look at Burnie Burns and his work, it's a different story. Like, we hear about where he came from, like working a few years in telecom, and then gathering a bunch of friends together and created something that would eventually be called Red versus Blue. And ever since then, like more than a decade later, Rooster Teeth has become a huge company for the entertainment department, with a whole bunch of shows like Ruby Chibi, or like the Rooster Teeth podcast, and all sorts of stuff. And at first, I was looking at the Rooster Teeth videos just for the sake of entertainment, but when I started to look more into the writing and the storytelling and the character development, and not to mention all the podcasts with Burnie and the other guys in their past experience, I actually began to admire them. It was like looking at a huge and often dysfunctional family at times, but I actually learned quite a bit from them, especially last year when Burnie did those series like the Burnie vlogs, and I just really liked learning new things from those vlogs. Like, he talked about focusing on discipline over motivation, as well as like saying yes to opportunities because you don't know where they're going to take you, but also like the importance of a community, like becoming a part of the community rather than just like serving the community or serving an audience. Like, I really admire all the stuff that he's accomplished, especially on the fact that he started out just like the rest of us, and now years later, look at all the success he's having now. So I'm not exactly sure what we would talk about. I don't know, maybe I would ask a few questions to get advice, but I don't know. But I'd really like a chance to meet him someday, but we'll see. So we have another question from Ian Lewis, one of our favorites and kind of a joker at times. Let's see, what questions do I have from him? I had to pick because he actually posted quite several of them. Here's a good one. What's been the hardest thing to do as a content creator? No, that's easy. The hardest thing for like doing this YouTube channel is consistency. Always making sure that you're getting the videos on time, but also making sure they're up to your standards. Like, here's the thing. Anyone can create a YouTube channel and anyone can post videos, but it's the amount of attention and care that you put in those videos that separate you from everyone else, that helps make your voice heard. But another thing is like consistency. You have to make sure videos are coming out on a regular basis, otherwise people are just gonna stop coming. Like, I remember a long time back there was a machinima called Lost Halo Style, and while they were fun to watch, after a while the consistency just got too low and eventually just stopped watching it. And that's one thing you gotta take into consideration. Like, if you're doing this YouTube channel as like a hobby, or if you really want to make something big out of it, you have to focus on consistency. Like, getting there out on time, but also making sure they're good quality. Because if you keep making videos just for the sake of filling up a schedule, then you run the risk of your videos not being good enough, for people just leaving the channel because the quality of your work has degraded so much. So that's the hardest thing for me personally about doing YouTube, is consistency. But I figured it out eventually. Another question that we have from Ian Lewis is actually a pretty good one. What do you use to record and edit? Well, the camera that I'm using right now is called a Canon EOS 60D, and I've had that for many, many years, ever since I started majoring in photography back in college. And I've used it all the time when I was photographing as like a freelance photographer. And now with the Bossy mic attachment that I have right there, I'm able to capture audio more cleanly, but also like with the mic, the audio is more focused, more forward, rather than like just capturing audio all over the place. So it kind of reduces the vibration or the echoes in the recording. I also got some acoustic foam to help further reduce that, but I haven't really set it up on that wall yet since it's like a new setup, but we'll see. As for like editing softwares, I use Bandicam whenever I need to record something on the screen, and then I use another software called Handbrake, which basically helps convert the Bandicam video to a format that I can use in Adobe Premiere. And the reason for that is Adobe Premiere doesn't really like AVI files, and that's the files that Bandicam records in. So with Handbrake, I can convert the Bandicam video into an MP4 video format so that I can edit it in Premiere without having any issues. For video editing, I would use Adobe Premiere and Adobe Audition. That's how I get my audio to be more clean, but also use more audio effects as well. Like you could check out the Undertale playthroughs and a few other ones where I kind of altered my voice a bit. So it was a lot of fun experimenting with that. I'm also going to be getting into Adobe After Effects soon. When you'll see that? Well, we'll see. I had to play around with it a bit more. So now we'll get to the final questions, and this is actually two that I can answer in one. One of them is from Ryan Brown from the YouTube channel Crimson Studios. Again, that's another awesome channel. And also Says from Acting My Life, and that's a autistic vlogger, kind of like me. So let me pull them up real quick. So their questions are, what is your next step for your channel? And what is the ultimate goal you think you can achieve on your channel? Well, what I'm planning to do next is a couple things outside the channel, and basically next week from now I'm going to be having my books on Amazon, so that way people can get easier access to them. Like I noticed, like in the past when I went to events talking about my books, people are always asking, oh, are they on Amazon? And it would make it more easier for my books to get out there that way, so that'll help with a bit of networking. But also, I'm planning to get into some autism events. I'm actually in the process of making another video to present an event called Honestly Autism Day, which is going to be in April. So I'll get you more info on that as it comes along. Also, in June, I'm going to be going to VidCon for the first time ever. So I'm going to be spending 4 days there, like meeting other people, maybe doing some video recording for you guys to see what VidCon is like. So yeah, that's pretty much the basic plan for now. In the future, I want to connect more with the autism community by maybe using some new social media sites and like probably covering more news rather than like going over different topics of autism. Like I know eventually I'm gonna run out of topics about autism to discuss, but with the news articles, like more of them keep coming each week, I can probably cover that a bit more. So, sorry, I'm just trying to think. I think what I'm gonna do is next week, we're gonna get back into the routine where the autism vlogs are coming out every single Saturday instead of like every other Saturday. Like next Saturday, we have a collab with someone. I'm not gonna spoil anything, just wait for next week. You'll see, it'll be worth the wait. And then after that, I'm planning to do another collab, or more like an interview session with another person within the autism community. Then from that point forward, I'll probably do more news article stuff, and if there's a topic for autism that you guys want me to cover, I'll make a separate vlog for that. So yeah, that's basically the plan, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know about whatever questions you have. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and until the next video, see you later.